Today I would like to talk about regulation, ownership and professional organizations involved in TV and film production in Ireland. First I would like to tell you about legislation. So TV and film production in Ireland is regulated by Department of Communications, Climate Action and Environment, and this department released the Broadcasting Act in 2009. This is the latest act, and it consolidates all Irish broadcasting content related legislation in single act. The other thing this act does is establish a new authority, a new regulatory body called Broadcasting Authority of Ireland, and specifies a whole new range of functions of this body, which I would like to tell you about now. So, as I said, the BAI regulates content across all Irish broadcasting services, but is as well responsible for licensing and broadcasting contracts, compliance and enforcement, media ownership, the administration of the broadcasting fund, consumer protection including broadcasting complaints, preparing and developing broadcasting codes and rules. And I would like to tell you about codes and rules. So the BAI actually, its source of the laws is the 2009 Broadcasting Act. So based on that, BAI worked on the codes and rules and program standards. So if you're a broadcaster in Ireland and you would like to broadcast in your television show or news or movie, you have to be aware that there's a certain codes and standards you have to follow. And there is a group of different codes. There's a different for advertisement, different for kids, different for other things. But the things I chose to tell you about is I think the most relevant to the TV and film. It's code of program standards, and being a broadcaster you have to follow and you have to respect for community standards, importance of context, protection from harm, protection of children, respect for persons and groups in society, protection in the public interest, respect for privacy. The second thing I would like to tell you is the media ownership, because the BAI is one of the bodies responsible for regulation of media ownership, as well as competition authority and Minister of Business, Enterprise and Innovation. So as I'm saying, these bodies are responsible for regulation. For actually they should be looking for diversity of ownership, and they should control media businesses. So I would like to show you the next graph, which is concentration of media ownership indicator risk per country. So is actually this graph, it's saying concentration of media ownership, and Ireland is actually color of the bar is red and is one of the highest percentage on this graph. So what it means, so radio stations belongs, or even not radio stations, newspapers, televisions, they belong to groups, media groups. So for example, as we all, or not everybody, know how it works in terms of television, there we have the most popular like RTE and Virgin Media. So as for these popular entertainment television, there's actually loads of channels, but it's just belong to two companies, and it's the same maybe not the same in the newspapers because it's more titles, obviously, but the trend is actually the we we have loads of like more and more titles, but they belong to less and less people, to smaller groups of people, to media groups. And the next thing I would like to tell you about is difference in working in public and private media company in Ireland. So I took from the public sector, I took RTE, and the one thing is significant, and you notice that straight away, that is a clear information about your earnings. If you look on the RTE webpage, which you don't have that in Virgin Media, which is not mentioned at all how much you will be getting. And like if you can have a look on in RTE, like the benefits, like if you work for them, they're amazing in my opinion. And as you can see, like there is on-site professional childcare facilities. That nowadays we know how important that is. There is a gym, squash courts, fitness classes, whatever. You feel like you don't need to go anywhere from there. Just you can go home if you do some sport, which I personally do. It would be very good for me. When in Virgin Media you have just very little, because they sell as well the holidays, so you have holiday allowance, and because they sell TV and broadband, so you can have discounts on them. And the other thing is the working for RTE or Virgin Media, you can belong to trade unions. So for example, working RTE, you definitely will be able to sign up for unions, and they will be representing you, fighting for your rights. When you don't have that in when you work in Virgin Media. So those are major differences in terms of working in public and private sector. Thank you very much.